I used to think grief was the heaviest thing a person could carry. I was wrong. The heaviest thing is finding out your grief was never yours to carry in the first place. Before I get into it, if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, go watch those first. This won't make sense without them. Okay, here we go. I had thought a lot about what they would say when we finally sat down together. I had run through every version. Denial, tears, a carefully constructed explanation that almost made sense if you didn't look at it too hard. I had prepared myself for all of it. I was not prepared for what actually happened. My father opened the door before I knocked. He saw Nora standing behind me and his face just stopped. Confusion, searching, then pure recognition. He stepped back and let us in. My mother came out of the kitchen, saw Nora, and made a sound I am not going to try to describe. She reached out to touch her face, and Nora let her. And then my father, quietly, told us to come sit down, like he had already rehearsed this moment in his head and had decided on this approach. We sat around a pot roast my mother had spent all day making, and it's going cold. My father folded his hands on the table, then just told us everything. Not a piece of it, not a version of it, all of it. Nora was first. The medical board complaint, the leverage, the arrangement. He confirmed it the way you confirm something you have had a long time to make peace with. And then he said a number, $42,000. The debt wasn't that much, I said, that out loud. He didn't answer, and I understood from the silence that we were not about to have the conversation I had prepared for. He kept talking, and this is the part I need you to stay with me for. He said Nora was not the only one. After the first arrangement, he said he began to understand there was a need. People with money who wanted children and couldn't get them through official channels. People who had more than they could manage. He had contacts, a reputation for handling things quietly, and he knew how to make paperwork mean less than it should. He used the word complications, the same word my mother had used my entire life to explain why Clara died. He used it in a completely different context, and I don't think he even noticed. How many? That's what Nora said. She said it very quietly in that specific way she goes quiet when she's furious. I had learned that about her in 2 weeks. It's the same as mine. He said 14, maybe 15. He wasn't certain of the exact number. My mother was looking at the table. She still had the dish towel in her hands from the kitchen. And then he said the thing that I still don't have the right words for. He said he was getting older, that what he had built over 30 years needed someone who understood it, someone already inside it. He looked at both of us and he said we were already part of this whether we had chosen to be or not. Nora stood up. She didn't make a production of it, she just stood up, the way you stand when you are finished with something. You sold me, that's what she said, and now you want me to sell children. He said her name, her real name, the one that had never once existed in our family. And of everything said at that table that night, that was the thing that broke something in me that I don't think has finished breaking yet. She looked at me. I looked at her. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't stand up right away. Maybe 30 seconds. I sat there and looked at his hands on the table and the dish towel and the pot roast going cold, and I thought about 31 years. Every Sunday call, every birthday, every set of white flowers at a grave that was never a grave, it was a receipt. And then I thought about the thing I hadn't let myself think about directly until that moment. They kept me. They sold Nora and they kept me, and I do not know why. And sitting there, I understood that I could ask that question for the rest of my life and never find an answer that didn't cost me something. I stood up. We drove for 2 hours without talking. She drove. I watched the dark out the window. She said eventually, "Are you okay?" I said, "I don't know what that means anymore." She nodded and kept driving. There is an investigation now. I won't say more than that. My father gave us names without being asked, with this kind of tired cooperation that I've spent weeks trying to understand. Whether that was guilt or strategy, I genuinely can't tell you. My mother called last week. She said she was sorry. She said she loves me. And I believe her. That is the thing I cannot find a place to put. I believe she loves me, And I believe she sat across from my father 31 years ago and agreed to hand her daughter to a lawyer, and then came home and built a grave and took me there every year and held my hand while I put down white flowers. Both of those things I believe are true at the same time. I don't know what to do with that, and I think I'm just going to have to carry it. Last Tuesday, Nora came over. We didn't talk about any of it. We ordered food, and we actually ate this time. My cat sat between us. We watched something neither of us will remember. At some point, she fell asleep on the other end of the couch, and I sat in the quiet, looked at her, and I thought about the word family, what it's made of, whether it's the people who made you or the people who stayed, whether it can be built from scratch out of biology and circumstance in two women sitting on a couch with the same face. I think it can. I have to think it can. I've been mourning her for 31 years. I think I'll spend the next 31 getting to know her instead. Thank you for staying. I know it got dark. Some of you probably knew it would before I did. This has been my story. Once again, thank you.